Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and likewise, it has been a great partnership. Thank you to members of Oversight Committee for the opportunity to testify today on Senate Bill 95. 2 years ago, when I was newly elected, I had a lot of first-round meetings with other member offices, advocates, even the governor's office, and a common question was, what is my #1 policy priority? The answer was always the same: price transparency in health care. Why? The fact is that Americans and Michiganders for decades have experienced declining health outcomes while at the same time paying more for health care. Average life expectancy in the United States has gone down a full 6 years compared to other OECD nations over the last half-century. And at that same time, U.S. health expenditures as a share of GDP have seen a 5-fold increase relative to those same countries. I want to repeat that, a 5-fold increase relative to our OECD friends. We have reached a point where nearly 20% of our entire economic activity is consumed by paying for health care. This affects every one of us and all of the people we serve. I'm not here today to tell you that I have the full solution to that problem, but I do believe that Senate Bill 95 is an important step in addressing it. A growing group of policymakers and advocates have embraced price transparency as a necessary component to help reverse these trends. At a federal level, President Trump and President Biden both agreed with this concept. Likewise, Republicans like Senator, now Governor Mike Braun, joined Democrats like Senator Bernie Sanders in advancing federal legislation on the topic. One obstacle, though, has always been encouraging compliance with federal transparency standards, which is why states have a vital role to play. You see, after federal standards were set years ago, consumer advocates have studied the issue nationwide and found that only a small fraction of covered entities were fully complying with those standards. States stepped up, from Democrat-led states like Colorado to Republican-led states like Ohio, which unfortunately, by the way, when we passed this last year, it kicked Ohio into gear, and then they got ahead of us. They couldn't be left behind, so they got it done down there to help increase compliance. That is what the bill before us today will do: incentivize providers to fully comply with healthcare price transparency laws. It will also protect consumers by preventing collections actions against them in cases where providers are out of compliance with those requirements. Toward the end of the last legislative session, I'm proud that the Senate passed this same bill with a unanimous vote. I hope we'll do so again, and even more so, I hope that all of us will recognize the importance of this issue and continue to advance legislation that will help drive down the cost of health care and improve outcomes. Thank you.